Hello, today's devotional can be found in Moroni chapter 9, verse 23. And if they perish, it will be like unto the Jaredites, because of the willfulness of their hearts, seeking for blood and revenge. Alright, so many have started out on the path of good intentions. Many have promised to obey the Lord and walk with Him and do all that He asks, that they might find happiness. And this is possible because of the atonement, that we may walk with the Lord and let go of our sins and not be held down by them or by Adam's transgression. And many have started out doing that. And they've been filled with the Spirit of God. However, just because you start out on a path doesn't mean you'll end up staying on the path that you start on. And some people have bad things happen to them, and instead of turning to the atonement for strength and courage to keep going, they become angry and vengeful, and they seek revenge. Not in the name of the Lord, but for themselves, because they feel that they've been wronged and that God won't do anything about it. So they take matters into their own hands. And when you do that, even though you know that the Lord will handle it, you become willfully ignorant when you ignore the Lord's admonishings and you seek to handle things yourself. And willful ignorance repels the Spirit because it fills your soul with hate, and it blocks any notion of the Spirit's presence. So the Spirit just pretty much doesn't want to stay where its promptings are blocked from being listened to. And so the Spirit leaves. And man begins to take on their own will and is so clouded by their own anger and need for revenge that they think they're getting revelations from the Lord. Well, here's the thing, the Lord will never prompt you to do anything that is not beneficial in some way for yourself or others. The Lord may give us difficult commandments, but He will also give us blessings for following those commandments. But if we do things of our own accord and block out the Spirit, and we seek our own way, if we seek revenge and the blood of others, when something bad happens to us, the Lord wants no part in that, and He'll withdraw His Spirit and let us go our own way, that we may learn from our own agency. You know, it's kind of stupid that man still seeks to shed the blood of another, because Christ already shed His blood and became the last living sacrifice, that we wouldn't have to die in our sins and perish because of them, if we so chose to give them over to the atonement and walk with Christ. However, people still perish by their sins because they choose to walk away from the Spirit and really just have an idea of what they think is best instead of trusting in the Lord. Seeking for blood and revenge when something bad happens to you is not the way to go about it. You can defend your liberties, but you shouldn't go seeking to harm someone just for blood and revenge, because then the hate will consume you so much that the Spirit will not be able to access you at all, and you'll perish by your own actions and your own desires. And that's a sad thing. People have perished from anger and lost their soul to the need for revenge before. But we don't need to be that way. We can be so much better than that. The Lord will have His justice. We don't need to take justice into our own hands and stay in our soul in our hands. We've got the atonement to help us, but we shouldn't do something so extreme when we've been wronged. God will help us if we just ask Him. He will take care of it. We're mortal. We let anger get the better of us all the time. But we shouldn't allow it to destroy us simply because we have the carnal desire to have revenge when something bad has happened to us. No, it's not the way. But unfortunately, we have our choice, we have our free agency, but know that choices have very real consequences. And if you make a poor choice, there will be a consequence that you will have to live with. And some choices cannot be undone. So just remember that. And with that said, I love you all so very much, and I say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.